This city, founded 500 years ago, is one that Patricia would like to make eternal.
I love my city. I was born here, and for me it's the most beautiful city in the world, no question. We managed to ensure our city is being preserved, and today we're going to renovate it and it will be reborn from the ashes like the phoenix, with all these wonderful buildings that will be restored.
To do this, Patricia is counting on the School of Artisans, directed by Juan Carlos Botello.
Botello, darling, how are you?
We're molding the support for the lantern of the Capitol. This part here will go in the center of the lantern.
And how many pieces do you need to go around?
30.
30?
Come and look at these moldings for the Paraguay Salon. These are the flower motifs for the main portico. Some of them were damaged.
The ones at the top of the steps?
On the Capitol, yes.
And this piece in stone will replace it. The workshop school is a crucial establishment. Without this school, it would be impossible to do the restoration, both in the Old Town and elsewhere in Havana. This knowledge had virtually disappeared. There were only a few craftsmen we managed to find in the 1990s, so we started then to train the trainers.
I always say this is not a place. It's not a group of people. The workshop school is a concept that goes beyond the framework of the school, because we are training students, and that creates a chain. By training young people in these old crafts, all this knowledge is given back to the people. That knowledge is transmitted into the different neighborhoods and into building companies, and that's what the school does.
The Cuban capital needed a whole army of craftspeople to restore its beauty of the 1940s and 1950s. Havana was then one of the marvels of the Caribbean. Today, it is falling into disrepair. Even the Malécon, this emblematic seafront boulevard, is under threat. These bourgeois buildings from the early 19th century are collapsing.
This is Professor Andres, and here is Mr. Virado, who was one of the school's founders. In fact, the youngest of the school's founders. And this is Mr. Pedro, an engineer whose task it is to determine the state of the structure.
The Malécon is being attacked by corrosion. For the first time, the school workshop has come out of the Old Town to try and save this architectural heritage.
All these buildings have greatly deteriorated due to a lack of maintenance and having been abandoned for so many years. And it's also due to the proximity of the sea. 70 to 80% of the constructions are badly damaged. A lack of money and materials is slowing progress and aggravating the problem. It could all fall down any time.
At the top, I saw that the natural white stone is not so badly damaged. It's even compatible with the iron. So we'll see which materials are most resistant to the salt.
I think the stone that's in the sea is best adapted.
Whatever happens in future, it will be better. With the increasing number of tourists and people who can travel to take part in the renovation, All those factors can only improve the situation and help save the city.
Saving the city is the challenge. Havana and its heritage is in critical state. Another highly symbolic monument is the Capitol. It is also enjoying a facelift. It represents a huge project and a mission of the utmost importance because, after years of neglect, the Capitol will soon be home to the Cuban Parliament.
This salon is magnificent. Omaro, compared to other salons, the moldings here are in pretty good condition, right? This molding and everything you see here has been restored by the workshop school. This salon is now almost finished, and it'll be a meeting room for the National Assembly of the People. This is one of the halls we restored and are working on to make the connection with the other gallery, which is the Salon of the Senate, I think. I always get mixed up between the Assembly there and the Senate there. Before, this used to be the Natural History Museum. And when I was a child, I'd come visit the Capitol. But I never imagined that one day I'd be involved in restoring it. I remember once there was a big exhibition here about the Soviet Union. We're proud to work here because it's a building that has great value, not just for us architects, but for the country as a whole. There are many buildings close by the Capitol that are extremely valuable in heritage terms. What is interesting is the great variety you find in the architecture. There are classically inspired facades, but also Art Deco and Art Nouveau inspired buildings. The triumph of the revolution offered a wonderful opportunity to Havana. Apart from any political considerations, it was of historical importance because there was a plan to demolish part of the old town. So that means if the revolution had succeeded 2 years later than it did, a large part of the city wouldn't be how it is today.
But there's a real threat, right?
Yes, of course, but I'm staying optimistic because anything is still possible. You say that 70 to 80% could end up collapsing. For example, the facades that are from the 17th or 19th century. But they're still standing. We just need to consolidate them. That's why I think the face of Havana won't change and will stay the same for a long time to come.